Imagine, just for a second, being able to tap into a profound sense of deep relaxation, literally, just by sitting still, by discovering exactly what your own body is capable of. The Wim Hof Method has absolutely exploded around the world over the last decade, right? I mean, it's used by professional athletes, high powered executives, and millions of everyday people who are just looking to manage their stress and push their physical boundaries. But what actually happens when you sit down to do it? Well, in today's explainer, we are completely deconstructing a guided session of the Wim Hof Method. We're going to look really closely at the source material, a step-by-step guided breathing sequence, and map out exactly how it works. By understanding the structure, the timing, and those physiological cues, you are going to understand the precise mechanics behind this totally game-changing practice, all before you even take your first breath.
Now, this entire explainer is rooted in one incredibly powerful concept from the session. Let the body do what the body is capable of doing. When you begin this practice, it is not about forcing anything. Think about how often we try to consciously micromanage our physical states, like tensing our shoulders when we're stressed or literally holding our breath when we're trying to focus. This practice asks you to do the exact opposite. It's about getting completely out of your own way. The source material emphasizes that by simply trusting the process, you allow your autonomic nervous system to just take over. This quote establishes the absolute foundation for the right mindset. You are literally handing the reins over to your own biology.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for the breakdown today. 1, the power of breath. 2, anatomy of a round. 3, the physical experience. 4, the progression. And 5, closing the practice.
Section 1. The power of breath. Setting the mindset.
Before a single deep breath is taken, the session begins with a very specific command. The instruction is to relax to the absolute deepest degree possible. You're told to lay down or sit down, whatever it takes to get completely 100% comfortable. And this physical setup is totally vital, because any bodily tension will actively fight the expansive breathing you're about to do. You have to create a completely relaxed physical vessel first. Once you're there, notice the intentional duality of the mantra that gets introduced as the session moves into the second and third rounds. The guide says, in with peace, out with stress, or in with the relaxation, out with the stress. It's brilliant. It elevates the physical act of inhaling and exhaling into a deliberate mental release. It gives your mind a very specific job to do while your body is doing all the heavy lifting. You aren't just blindly moving air in and out, you're actively categorizing what enters your body and what leaves it, directly tying your physiological state to your mental state. Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of a Round. Let's get into the mechanics. So, now that we know the mindset, let's break down the actual engine of this practice. The guided session relies on a universal repeating structure. Every single round you complete is going to follow this exact 3-step cycle. Step 1 consists of 30 or more deep circular breaths. And listen, this isn't just casual everyday breathing. It requires real sustained physical effort. You are actively pulling massive amounts of oxygen into your system, giving it everything you've got until that final exhale. That deep, intense work is immediately followed by step 2, the long breath hold. And oh man, this is the payoff. After all that effort, you just stop. You simply be in the moment, coasting on that incredible oxygen saturation you just built up. Finally, step 3 is the recovery breath. You take a deep breath, fully in, hold it for exactly 15 seconds to stabilize, and let it go. Understanding this rhythmic cadence is absolutely crucial because it's the heartbeat for the entire session. You work, you rest, you recover, and then you repeat. Let's zero in on that crucial first step for a second. What exactly is circular breathing, and how does it feel? Well, the guide describes it as breathing deeply into the belly, then letting it expand up into the chest, and finally letting go like a wave. I love that imagery of a wave. It's perfect because it's not a sharp mechanical movement. It's totally fluid. The critical point here is maintaining that continuous flow without ever stopping. Fully in, letting go. Fully in, letting go. You are explicitly instructed to leave absolutely no pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. I mean, most of us naturally pause for a tiny fraction of a second at the top or the bottom of a normal breath, right? But here, you eliminate that gap entirely. It becomes this continuous, rolling loop of oxygen entering and exiting your system, and it builds incredible momentum with every single repetition. All right, Section 3. The physical experience. Here is what to expect. As you engage in these intense, continuous waves of circular breathing and transition into those deep breath holds, your physiology really starts to respond. And I want you to ask yourself, what actually happens to your body when you breathe like this? Because the source material doesn't just guide your breath, it anticipates and actively calls out the exact sensory shifts you're going to encounter. Knowing these shifts in advance, it completely removes any anxiety when they start happening, allowing you to stay perfectly relaxed in the moment. During the breath holds, especially as you get deeper into rounds 2 and 3, the guide prompts you to become intensely aware of your body. You might start to feel a tingling sensation in your hands, your feet, or maybe even around your face. You might notice your body temperature shifting, feeling suddenly a bit warmer or a little cooler. You'll also likely develop a deeply heightened awareness of your heartbeat slowing down, or literally feel the physical sensation of blood running through your veins. Now, why does this happen? The source material explains that you are fundamentally altering the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in your bloodstream. You're blowing off significant amounts of CO2, and that causes these very real, very noticeable physical reactions. The guide is incredibly clear here. If you feel these things, it is completely okay. In fact, you're doing fantastic. These are entirely natural physiological responses proving that the hard work you just did is actually paying off. But hey, what if you feel an overwhelming urge to breathe before that timer is actually up? The source provides a vital safety valve right at the absolute peak of the challenge, explicitly stating, if you need to breathe before I give the cue, that's okay. And this is such an important reminder that emphasizes the flexibility and the safety of the method. Yes, you are purposefully challenging yourself. Yes, you're pushing way past your normal comfort zones, but you're also actively listening to your own bodily limits. There is absolutely no failure here. You are completely in control of the experience at all times. Section 4. The progression. Building intensity. Let's look at how this builds across the entire session, because you definitely don't just do the exact same thing 3 times in a row. As you move through the practice, the breath hold challenge rapidly escalates. In round 1, after your 30 circular breaths, the guided hold is for 1 full minute. But by round 2, that hold jumps up significantly to 1.5 minutes, and it stays right there at 1.5 minutes for the final round 3. This escalation is entirely by design. As your body becomes more and more saturated with oxygen and enters a state of deep relaxation through those successive rounds, your biology is actually adapting in real time. Without any extra effort on your part, your body magically becomes capable of sustaining much longer periods without even needing to draw a breath. Now, here's a really fascinating detail about the pacing of these rounds. In every single cycle, right as you approach the end of the guided breath hold, the instructor offers an open invitation. Do you want to prolong your breath hold? The instructor actively encourages you to pause their guided audio track right then and there. You can just continue holding your breath in silence until you naturally feel the urge to breathe. It completely reframes the whole experience. It proves that the 1 minute or 1.5 minute benchmarks are really just that, benchmarks for the guided session, not hard biological limits. You're being invited to explore just how far your own personal physical capacity can really go. Finally, Section 5, closing the practice, the return. So, after pushing your physical limits and holding your breath for these extended periods, you obviously can't just jump straight up, grab your phone, and go about your day. That would completely shock your system. Instead, the session features a systematic offboarding process to bring your body safely and gently back to a normal resting state. This literal return happens in 2 distinct phases. First, as you finish the recovery breath of the very final round, you simply let your breathing normalize. You drop the intense circular breathing, you drop the counting, and you just let your autonomic nervous system take back the wheel. Then, phase 2 begins, moving your body bit by bit. You don't sit straight up. You start with the absolute smallest extremities, just wiggling your fingers and your toes, slowly waking the physical body back up and letting that profound state of deep relaxation settle permanently into your muscles. As the session fully winds down, the guide mentions that if you enjoyed this physiological reset, there's a massive ecosystem out there to explore. Specifically, they direct users to a free app available on their website to continue the practice independently. It's just a quick, helpful pointer for anyone who realizes the power of this session and wants to make this breathwork a regular daily habit to manage stress or boost their energy levels. The session concludes with a sign-off that I think perfectly encapsulates the dual nature of this practice. All the love, all the power. You are treating your body with deep care and relaxation while simultaneously unlocking immense physical strength and endurance. So, I'll leave you with this thought to mull over. If a mere 15 minutes of focused breathing can physically alter your body temperature, slow your heart, and allow you to hold your breath for over 1.5 minutes, what else is your body capable of doing right now that you simply haven't unlocked yet?